All right, let's cover the nerves that supply the shoulder, and let's start with where they actually come out of. All nerves are going to stem from the spine, and then certain branches of them are going to come out, and they are either going to be doing motor, meaning what actually causes the muscle to fire and contract, or sensation that will give you things like numbness and supply sensations to the skin. So let's actually take these layers of muscle off and just start with the spine and the nerves. So right now I've got all of them on, so it's a very kind of tangled looking web of nerves. Anything that's yellow is a nerve, okay? I'm going to take it down and have just the main ones right now, so we're not looking at all the really kind of just complicated web. So what I want you to notice is that right here at your 5th cervical vertebra is where you see these thicker nerves starting to come out. So most of what drives the arms and everything in this general upper quarter is going to stem from what we're going to call the lower cervical region, and it starts around this C4-5 level, okay? So when we are looking over here, and I'm not going to go over the name of every single nerve, I just want to keep you aware of the fact that they stem from between levels of the spine, okay? So that right there is going to be the 5th cervical nerve, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So just keep that in mind when I talk about some things later and I'm referring to nerve coming from, either C4, 5, 6, or 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually rotate and see where they travel. Okay, so you've got these nerves and they come down and they're going to go underneath your collarbone, and I'll show you from a different angle. Okay, so they are coming down under here. They're coming in the front of your arm. You might hear this, you'll hear people talk about brachial plexus, but this is kind of right here. It actually goes underneath your pec minor muscle. We'll go ahead and throw that on just so you can see, so that if somebody has given you instructions to work on your pec minor, you'll know what they're talking about. Right here is your pec minor muscle. So it's going to come down and attach to your ribs. It is attaching right here to the front of your shoulder blade. This bone right here is actually the front of your shoulder blade, okay? And you'll also see your biceps tendon come up and attach. This is your other biceps tendon. It doesn't cross over that big bundle, but bicep and pec minor both sit pretty closely right in front of those nerves, and they trace right along the back of your biceps tendon. So let's take that back off so we can see the nerves again. Actually, we'll go ahead and look at this one because it's pretty important to know that it comes right through here. So this is it's called your Musculocutaneous nerve, okay? What it does is it is going to do motor for the flexor muscles of your arms. So think bicep curls, things like that, wrist curls, and it's going to also do skin innervation on your forearm and sensory and everything into your elbow. Okay, so if we trace where this is going, comes down along the front of the arm and goes down, okay? When we are taking a look at the other ones, we'll take off this, and this muscle right here is actually one of your bicep muscles, kind of. It's called your coracobrachialis. It doesn't directly bend the elbow, so it's not like your biceps, but it attaches close to where your bicep is, and it can give you kind of a bicep pain. So let's take that off. When we're looking behind it, so all of these other ones are going to be traveling down the arm. This right here is your median nerve. Let's actually scroll out. When you hear about things like carpal tunnel, it's involving the median nerve just farther down its pathway. Okay, it's where it goes underneath this carpal tunnel. So keep that in mind. This one is going to be doing sensation into the hand, but it's also going to be doing nerve for some of the muscle, or motor, I should say, excuse me, for part of your elbow and your wrist. All right, now when we are zooming back in, let's take a look. This is your radial nerve. So important things to see about the radial nerve, okay, is that it takes a dive and goes to the back of the arm and goes behind your humerus, okay, and if we keep turning, you can see where it kind of goes right here in between your kind of tricep heads, okay? So if we take off your tricep, It traces right along, and I'll zoom out so you can see where it's going, but it comes along the back of the arm, and then it makes a curve and comes right here, kind of in the bend of your elbow, and it's going to do sensation to the back of your hand, okay? It's also going to do muscle, like motor, for your triceps. All right, last one I wanted to show you is your ulnar nerve. We're just covering the major three. So ulnar nerve comes out right up here, kind of under this border. Comes out same place, but it's going to take a little bit more of a dive towards the back of the arm like the radial nerve. And it actually is your funny bone nerve, okay? So when you hit your elbow and you're like, oh, that feels terrible, that's your ulnar nerve. It comes down and it does sensation to these back three fingers. And it works on musculature in the elbow as well. So don't want to get too much into the nitty-gritty of what they do. I just want you to be aware of where they are so that when I am checking them and having you do nerve glides, you're realizing that they stem from way up here in the neck. They all cross kind of front of the shoulder, and then they make their different pathways down, okay? Now let's go ahead and let's add on a couple other nerves that are really prominent in shoulder pain and neck pain and shoulder blade pain. All right, let's talk about this one. This is a very important one. This is your suprascapular nerve. It stems off of your lower cervical branches, so it comes off of C5, C6, comes down. It's going to do the action, the movement of your rotator cuff muscles, but it does sensation to your AC joint right here and to your actual ball and socket shoulder joint, okay? The other one I want you to be aware of is called your dorsal scapular nerve. It also comes off of C5, and it comes down and does this whole border of the shoulder blade. So I'll have a lot of people that are like, gosh, I just get this burning pain down the side of my shoulder blade. And sometimes it can be from that guy. What it does is it goes underneath. Let me add this muscle. And it's called your levator scapulae. I don't have to remember any of these, just want to show you. So a lot of times people will get this knot right here, and they will dig and dig and dig at this muscle, and it won't go away, and it's because it's actually a nerve that is underneath it. But your dorsal scapular nerve, it actually innervates and does the motor for this levator scapular muscle for your rhomboids that are, add your rhomboids on. These guys are your rhomboids, okay? When you get that little achy back here, we gotta be aware of the fact that it could be coming from neck, could just be irritation of the actual muscles, but wanted to give you a good overview of that, okay? The only other thing that I wanted to show you is your spinal accessory nerve. It lives right here. This one actually stems up much higher than the ones that I just showed you. It comes off of your C3 and C4, so a little higher in the neck. And it does your upper trap. It helps move the upper trap, and it also does skin and sensation over your front of your chest wall here. So you see everywhere this purple guy is going, and also out to the side. So when you're thinking, oh my gosh, I've got this knot in my upper trap and I can't get it to go away, if we're not addressing the nerves and the neck, sometimes it won't actually fully clear up. And then as soon as we add in where it all stems from, it clears up much faster. But this is that big upper trap muscle, where everybody that you probably know has a big knot sitting right in here. And if you'll look, you'll see that nerve cross right in the front of it. So just wanted to give you an overview of what drives the muscles. We can address the muscles all day long, but if we don't go right back to the source in the spine, could be missing stuff.